Okay, so I'm just sick of seeing these books lying here and I want to put them on my shelves. So here is just all the random books I read in the past couple months. Because the longer I put this off, the more books this is gonna get and the more chaotic this is gonna be. Some of these books I actually did read while I was in Japan. So I didn't read the physical book, I read the ebook. And there's gonna be absolutely no order because I just threw them in here. So let's see what we have. All right. Ooh, Ravel. So I went through a kind of circus theme. This was one of the books that I had on my Kindle that I borrowed from Libby that I was just like, that I know I owned the book. This is from Owl Crate from I don't even know how long ago. And I was like, let's get through it. And I borrowed it from Libby and this was while I was in Japan. I surprisingly love this book. I know it's Moulin Rouge themed or Cabaret. I can't remember one of them. I've never seen either of them, so that's why I don't know which one. Very adult YA. Like, I'm used to giving us more low to middle YA. I can't say middle grade, it's not middle grade, it's YA, but a lot low to middle YA. This was very adult. It's still YA, but it didn't cross the line, but it in themes. I'm not talking about like anything spicy or explicit. I'm just talking about like in themes. It got very dark. I don't remember everything exactly, but I actually really enjoyed this. This was very good, and this is definitely going on my shelves, like in probably my favorite shelves. So basically, we have an island, and I can actually remember this. I don't remember names. I can actually remember this, even though I read this like, I don't know, April, March, probably March. So basically we have like this island, and it's supposed to be like 1920s. You kind of see like she's kind of flapper dress, and okay, this is bothering me. I'm gonna just put this here. And it's like an island off of New York that they kind of live in their own thing, and people have magic there. Like, you don't have magic in the rest of the United States, but you do there. And also it's during Prohibition, and they still have alcohol. You have like 4 different families, I think. Her family is like the circus family, and they can make you experience different things with their magic, but they need jewels. She surprisingly it's like a secret that she has like really strong power, and I think she doesn't need the jewels or something like that. So then we have another family that they're basically the mayors of the mayor, and like control the town. They can go back in time, and I actually talked about this because I forgot why we were talking about this or something, and I brought up this book. However far back in time they go is how much time they take off of their life, to the point that if they go far back too much, when they come back in time in present, they might shrivel up and die because they went just further than what their lifespan would be, which is nuts. And like I said, it's dark. And then we have another family that are like the healers, and they're like the medics. However, they also heal by, instead of you experiencing the pain, they give it to somebody else. However, both people have to consent to this. And then there was, the 4th, Edwardians. I don't know why I remember that one. They're mind readers. And basically her family and the mayor family have been like at war with each other, and like every time it looks like they're very poor, and whenever it looks like they're about to like become stable, the mayor family like something and fuck them over. And it just, and then we have this one guy, and it was also very Great Gatsby. I feel inspired because, like, you know how in Great Gatsby you have Nick, who's like comes into this and like finds this new world, so it kind of like is like the narrated by like a Nick. And how do I remember his name? Wow, look at me. And it felt like that, although it's very, I don't remember if it's Cabaret or Moulin Rouge. One of those two is very clearly inspired from that. Maybe it will tell me here. Actually, no, it wouldn't. It would tell me in the thingy, which I'm not gonna look up right now. And yeah, and so he comes to this island because he's an orphan, and he has this one photo of his parents. He wants to know the secret to his, like, what, like, he feels lost and more, and he made these 2 friends, and like the 3 of them are kind of grifters and like roaming through the country, and the 2 of them are actually from the island, And they're like, oh, that's actually from our island. That photo was taken in our island. And he's like, all right, let's go. So they're like, okay, we're gonna spend the summer here. It's gonna be a crazy magical summer because magic. And yeah, so there's a lot of plots, and it's just, it was, I feel like it was actually, I came into this with low expectations. It kept coming up on Libby to borrow, and I kept borrowing it and just not reading it. And I don't know why this, like, I was putting it off, and this was actually really, really good. Like, I'm gonna just go ahead and give it 5 stars. Maybe it shouldn't be a 5-star. I don't really remember. I really, like, I've been a mess. I haven't been, like, I don't, where's my calendar? Where's my planner, which also doubles as my book catalog? No idea. I marked in Storygraph that I read it. I just never write. I just do it manually and on Storygraph at the same time. Haven't done it, so I'm gonna say it's 5 stars. It might just be a 4.5. I truly don't remember. But I really did enjoy this. This is really good. And let me see if I can find the other one. So hold on. Actually, let's do it. So this is the other one, Midnight Strikes, which I felt was also circus themed. It's not at all. I don't know why I felt like it was. It is Time. It's one of, like, a Groundhog Day one. I don't remember a lot about it, and I'm actually getting it confused right now in my head with another one that I read right after this by accident. Oh, okay, yeah. I did not like this. Like, it's Midnight Strikes because she goes to a ball and she has to relive it over and over again, and because someone bombs them, and because there's, like, a political coup happening, but all the noble elites just think they're superior, and they're like, the poor aren't going to rise up against us and do this pish posh. And then there's, like, a bombing, but then at midnight it, like, resets over again. I remember why, but I'm not gonna explain it because it's spoilers. I really did not like this. There were parts in here that I'm just like, this is stupid. Why are you doing this? I'm gonna give this a 1 star. I really, really did not like this. And also, I don't know why, I really thought this was, like, carnival themed, circus carnival themed. I truly believed it. No, not at all. Yeah, and I did not like this. This was, in my opinion, horrible. If you liked it, awesome for you. Please tell me why. Change my mind. But no. So even though I was in, like, carnival theme, that one then changed me over. I'm like, okay, well, let me read The Last Hour Between Worlds. And this one is also like a grandfather, a Groundhog Day. I'm thinking grandfather because there is a grandfather clock in here. Yeah, and I remember this. I really did not like this art. So basically, it's sapphic, 100% sapphic, but I hated the love story in here. It just felt very enemies to lovers with no. It's just like, I hate you, come love me. And I'm like, where was this? Like, I think a lot of it was in the backstory, and because it's in the backstory, it wasn't told, and I hate that. I am truly a slow burn person. I need to see the love developing on page. If not, I don't believe it, and I hate it. So anyway, so this one is also takes place at, like, a ball. It also reminded me a lot of This Is How You Lose the Time War, but nowhere near as poetic. So you have, like, these competing factions and these guilds, which I made no sense. And also, that's the other thing, the world made no sense to me, and the writing has to be freaking phenomenal for me to let go of that sense of disbelief of your world making absolutely no sense. And it was not, and therefore it did not. I did not. And basically you have, like, these different factions, and, like, she works for one, and then the other chick works for the other one, and there's some backstory, whatever nonsense. And so how it works in their world is that there's, like, sub worlds beneath them with different dimensions, and that's where it made no sense to me. Like, each one is different, but they have their own, they're similar to the real world but different, and it just didn't make sense to me. Like, how are these different worlds then functioning? It just made it sound like they're just trying to come into the real world, but then, like, clearly if they're going on in their own little worlds and it goes, like, 12 layers deep or something, there has to be something functioning, like, and it made no sense to me. And then I want to say they're gods, but they might not be gods, or like running a game, and it's like whoever like beats it can make a rule, but the rule's always like, even if you make it most positive, it's going to like always do something negative. They'll find like that little loophole, like, you know, like making a deal with the fairies, they always like find the loophole to screw you over. There was a lot going on. It made no sense. I truly did not like it. The repetitive nature of it was also very, actually, in Midnight Strikes, it was driving me crazy. I think in this one, it didn't drive me as crazy. But it just made no sense, and I really did not like it. This one and Midnight Strikes are definitely going to be sold. So actually, let me start making a little pile. Okay, a book I think I actually did read the physical copy, I don't really remember, is When Dreams Descend. And I actually bought this. I didn't get this from Owlcrate. This was sent out before I joined Owlcrate. I just really loved the cover, and I actually bought the second book from Owlcrate. And I think I'm gonna regret this. I did not like this. It's another one where the world makes no sense. It's like there's only like 4 cities in the world. One city, like, it made no sense. I'm like this is not properly plotted out. I'm ripping open the holes, because there are holes. I'm not putting the holes in. You wrote contradictions. So yeah, so it's also carnival themed, circus themed. This chick, I can't remember her name, she is basically like in the service of like this illusionist, and she's like works there, and she's not allowed to leave, and like he's actually like kind of messed with her brain to make her not leave. But then all of a sudden she finally breaks through and leaves, and she goes to this because she wants to be a magician, because she has magic. But in this world, women aren't allowed to be magicians. They can only be assistants, even if they have a lot of power, which also made no sense, in that the person who's in charge of regulating magic is a woman. So I don't, like, it's still not quite making sense. And yeah, so she goes and she joins this magician competition, and she's paired up with this guy who his aunt is actually the woman in charge of regulating magic or something like that. But there's something going on there, like he doesn't want to see her for reasons. So I'm like, is he supposed to be dead? Is he not actually the nephew? What is it? Oh, but also his younger sister was also a magician, and it was the 2 of them. And then I think he like accidentally made her disappear. It was not very clear. And it has something to do with mirrors, which is the cover of the other one, which, where did that go? Did I unpack it? I hope I did, because I don't know where it would have gone. And I think I will read the book too, just to see like what the hell, where is this going? It's a duology. And then I might keep them because they are quite pretty, but when I run out of space, these are going. Like, I'm probably gonna sell them, because I gave them 3 stars, but there was just so much in the world that made no sense, and it drove me crazy. Okay, A Fate Inked in Blood. I actually read this on my Libby while we were in Japan, and I actually devoured this. Don't remember what happened though. I know it's like Norse Viking based. This woman like had like a myth told about her, and so like these men are trying to use her because of like whatever legend, or not myth, legend, right? Like it's like foretold about her being able to like unite all the tribes, and that they want to be king, and so that's why they want to use her. A lot happened. I do remember enjoying this very much, and I debated about buying book 2, but honestly I don't really care enough. This is a very pretty copy, but I think I might actually just sell this. Maybe. I don't know. I enjoy enough. I'll give it like a 3.75. But see, like, I can't even remember what happened. I can't remember. It's actually really funny, even though this is a book, I'm like seeing images. So I guess that tells you how it's really well written, because that's my favorite kind of writing, is where it's a movie in your head as you're reading it. and I remember bits and pieces, and I just don't want to say it because I'm sure some of those are gonna be spoilers, and I can't put it together enough. But I did enjoy this a lot actually. I don't know, maybe I will keep it because it was pretty good. I'll put it on my romance shelves. Finished up Emily Wilde's. This is the Compendium of Lost Tales, and I don't know what it was. I loved the first book very much. The second book was okay, even though I can't really quite remember the first book, and I think I'm mixing up the first and second book. Was the Frost King in the first book, or was he in the second one? I don't remember anymore. Okay, but this one, I just felt like it dragged on, and I just couldn't wait for this to be over. And I honestly cannot. Oh, I get what she was doing here with like the different tales, because it is a compendium of lost tales, and like each one kind of follows whatever it was, like encyclopedia, and the other one was maps, and this one is the compendium of lost tales. But it just got to the point where it felt like you were just like really beating a point in, and I didn't care. So this is just getting a flat 3 because I didn't care, and I just want it to be over, and you don't want that in a book. I like didn't even have the coziness, and I feel like I have more criticisms. I just can't remember, and I don't care to remember. I am gonna keep it because I loved book 1, and book 2 was okay. So I'm gonna keep it. It's gonna go on my cozy shelf, but unfortunately, not my favorite. Ooh, another one I read while in Japan, which was The Girl with No Reflection. And I'm so sad because I'm probably gonna sell this because it's a chunky book, and I hated this. I absolutely hated this book so much. There was one huge plot hole, which I'm glad the author did address, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll accept it. Don't ask me what it was. I don't care to remember anymore. But I hated this book. I think the girl was to be married, and there's like a mirror realm, and she got dragged in there, and then I'm not gonna say more because I feel like the rest of it's spoilers, what I was about to say. And I just hated this book so much. I don't really remember anything else. I hated it. I hated it so much. So this is definitely gonna sell. I'm definitely gonna sell this, even though this is really cute. Maybe I can put this in the bathroom as decoration. I'm gonna try that. And if my husband's like, get these books out of the bathroom, I'm gonna sell it. I'm just gonna sell this. Like, and it's so sad because it's so pretty. It's my Fairy Loot edition, but oh, whoops. But I just hated it. Okay, that's sorry about that. Okay, I remember I read this in June, and I actually read a majority of this while we were driving to Scranton because we were going to a concert and also visiting friends that live in Scranton. This was really cute. So this is basically like my favorite parts were like there was like each chapter started with thoughts from Marcus Aurelius, who is this octopus here, who is nearing the end of his days because he was a very old octopus. And I just loved the things he said. It was hilarious, very dry. I really loved it. So basically he's in like some aquarium in the Pacific Northwest. I don't remember what state, I'm sorry. And yeah, Sewell Bay. I have no idea where that is. I just know it's Pacific Northwest. And so we have Tova, that's who it is, who her son died in an accident. She doesn't feel like it was an accident, or she does, but she doesn't have the closure because he died in a boating accident like the day after graduation or something like that from high school. And she's like, I don't understand it. He was good with like ships. He understood this. He grew up on the water. You know, I don't understand how he died. And also they never found his body. And then like and so it's just her and her husband, and then her husband eventually died. So it's just her, and she's like this, I want to say Norwegian. Oh, she's Scandinavian. Like her parents came from somewhere in Scandinavia, and her father built this. I think she was born there and came to the States. And her father built a Scandinavian house and all this. Oh yeah, no, Swedish. She's Swedish because I remember when I went to IKEA, they were displaying those horses, and those horses were like a beloved thing of hers, of her mom's possessions. And yeah, and so she's very dry. She's kind of annoying. Like, I'm a very literal, logical person, and I'm like, am I this annoying? I'm sorry for everybody who has to deal with me. And she just doesn't want to accept any help from anyone, and she joins, like, she has friends, but she doesn't really open herself up to them. And so like, they try, but she just is very closed off. But also it's part of it is because she doesn't want their pity, and because like she's like, oh, that's the woman whose husband died, oh, that's the woman whose son died. I did like most of this. The one thing I hated was exactly that, because Tova felt the judgment, even though it wasn't always judgment, of and the pity of other people. There was a very big emphasis on, you know, all of my friends have their children and they have their grandchildren, and I don't have any of that. Who's gonna take care of me in my old age? Like, what is the point of this? Which is depressing as fuck, one. And two, sometimes, you know, my husband and I haven't decided if we're gonna have kids or not. And the way this put it in, like, if we choose not to have kids, I really found it offensive. Yeah, it was really offensive. Something happens in here. It's very obvious from the beginning, like, you're like, okay, obviously, you know. But it was still nice to read it play out. But yeah, again, just that one being very judgmental of not having surviving children just really rubbed me the wrong way. And that's like why I would not give it a 4, and I give it a 3.5. And I think my purchase just arrived, so you're gonna get another video real soon. Anyway, I am gonna keep this for now. And again, that part is just like what doesn't let me put it in the cozy, because it's not cozy when you're being judged. All right, next one I also read in person. I think I started this before I went to Japan, then I finished it like after that book. It's For Her Consideration. This is an Afterlife book, and it takes place in Hollywood. We got the main character here. I can't remember her name. Oh, Ari, I guess. No, I don't know. Maybe she's Ari Fox, and I forgot the main character's name. Basically, like, she got dumped by her girlfriend, and the girlfriend was like really toxic, and basically just said, you're a piece of shit and your friends hate you. And she was just like, took it to heart and kind of like ghosted all her friends, because she's just like, oh, I didn't realize I was such a burden on my friends, because like she said, this ex-girlfriend said a bunch of other stuff, and she kind of ghosted all her friends because she didn't want to be a burden. And she ended up moving out of LA proper into the hills. I don't like LA. I've been there a few times. I don't know the geography very well. She wanted to be a writer, but she like kind of put that on pause, and she was working as like writing emails for stars, so it sounds like it comes from them instead of just being her. And anyway, so Ari Fox is like an up-and-coming actress who's like really big, and she's making waves for LGBTQ people crowd. I don't know how to phrase that properly, I'm sorry. And because she's being a mainstream, she's not being just pigeonholed, which is awesome. And she, however, is a little bit controlling, and she like says like, oh, I don't like how this was done. And so that's how they meet, and then they kind of like start flirting. And yeah, so it's a cute little love story from them. Although I do want to say at one point I ended up really just being like, you both are horrible people. Which I guess, you know, nobody's perfect. I don't think I'm going to continue with the book. I am going to keep this book because I know I ended up being meh with it, but it's not sticking in my head, so that's a good sign. Okay. Next is my favorite book of all these. Yes. A Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. Oh my goodness. This was a tome. It did take me a while to read. I love this. 5 stars. I texted a bunch of my friends and I was like, you need to read this. 1000% not for anyone. She's still pretentious. She writes so pretentiously. I adore it. It's my favorite. Give me all this pretension. I love pretension. However, so yeah, we have like the 3 siblings who for gifted and talented. It's kind of like that meme, like, you know, you're like in the gifted and talented class and you put all this pressure and now you're just like struggling to get by, your mental health is shit. Yeah. She made that meme into a book. So 3 siblings, and the oldest is, I forgot her name. She's supposed to be like a genius. She dropped out of Harvard to pursue her tech startup, but also they had, just like in the world of the Atlas 6, they had like technomancy, so it's kind of a combination of technology and magic. And then we have the middle child, I forgot his name. He's an up-and-coming politician. He's super charismatic, and he like won on the progressive ticket, but I mean, he's still a rich dude, and he's realizing it's really hard to get things done in Congress, especially if you're like the only progressive. And he's also kind of lazy. And so like combine it all together and he's just not doing well. And then the youngest, I forgot her name, but she's like the baby. So the 2 oldest kind of like they were around each other for longer, so they had a good bond, and they kind of really included the youngest. And also the father kind of pitted like more pressure on the 2 oldest, and so like the youngest ended up being more dependent on him. And she was like a prima ballerina, all this stuff, and then she got into a car accident and she can no longer dance. And so like she can walk, but she can't dance. So basically we find out the oldest's tech startup is a fraud. The middle one, he's just a mess. And he's also, there's like poly rep in here because he is in a poly relationship, which also he's a politician, so he can't let that be known. And then the youngest has like this weird demon that causes apocalypses. Wow, I could not pronounce that word. If she gets too emotional. And their father just died. And it's basically just days after the father dies, and there's 2 wills and them trying to figure out the wills. This is all vibes, no plot. It's 100% character study. If you need a plot, don't read this. This is just a vibe, and I loved it. It was so good. I truly love this book. It was, and I'm so excited to put this on my Livy Blake shelf, which isn't really a Livy Blake shelf because my Atlas 6 is on a different shelf. But this was just so good. And there's more to it. We also have the way it's narrated is great, and then you find out who the narrator is. Genius. Yeah, it's just, I'm not gonna say more because I don't want to spoil things. I love this. This was hands down my favorite. And then when we got back from Japan, give me a second here. We got back from Japan, and I have the first 4 Lore Olympus books because on the crate, but then it's too expensive to ship. And then I pre-ordered 2 of them because Barzola had their sale, or 3 of them, and 2 of them came in, but I was missing like the in-between ones, so I just ordered them and then I read them all. No! Well, they fell. Sorry about that. I can't show you them because clearly I worked out yesterday for the first time in a while, but here's half of them. I just read them in one go. I really enjoyed it, and I was reading, like, a lot of people were kind of like critiquing her, and I don't quite understand why. I enjoyed it so far. Then again, maybe I just needed something. I was gonna say light, but these books aren't light. Literally. I do enjoy it. I'm looking forward to finishing out the series. I have the next one pre-order. I think comes out in September or October. I don't remember. I enjoyed it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Lore Olympus, if you don't know, it's a webtoon comic that's a Persephone and Hades retelling. And I think, actually no, I think I do know part of the reason why. It's because she did try to expand on the other myths, but I think she just got like too famous too fast and couldn't quite deliver on it, which 100% she did not deliver on doing any other ones. But I feel like overall, this is fine. I'm happy with it. There's so many Hades and Persephone retellings, and I own a few of them somehow. But I enjoyed it. I'm happy with it. Oh, that was fun. I definitely read more books, but those were on my Kindle, and I just did this on one because I want to put these books away. So that's my stack of books I read. Have y'all read any of these? Do you have any thoughts on these? Yeah, I'm glad I finally got this filmed and I can put these books away. Yay! Also, for right now, I'm gonna make lunch because it's 5:30 and I haven't had lunch. Oops.